Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gita as it is, chapter 10, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute, text 3. O Yomam Ajam Anadim Cha Veti Loka Maheshwaram Asamudach Samartyeshu Sarva Papaih Pramuchyate. Yah, anyone who, Mam, me, Ajam, unborn, Anadim, without beginning, Cha, also, Veti, knows, Loka, of the planets, Maha, Ishwaram, the Supreme Master, Asamudaha, undiluted, Saha, he, Martyeshu, among those subject to death, Sarva, Papaihi, from all sinful reactions, Pramuchyate, is delivered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Purport. It's quite long purport, actually. As stated in the 7th chapter, 7.3, Manushyanam sahasrashu kaschyatyatiti siddhaye. Those who are trying to elevate themselves to the platform of spiritual realization are not ordinary men. They are superior to millions and millions of ordinary men who have no knowledge of spiritual realization. But out of those actually trying to understand their spiritual situation, one who can come to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the proprietor of everything, the unborn, is the most successful spiritually realized person. In that stage only, when one has fully understood Krishna's supreme position, can one be free completely from all sinful reactions. Here the Lord is described by the word Aja, meaning unborn, but he is distinct from the living entities who are described in the 2nd chapter as Aja. The Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. The conditioned souls are changing their bodies, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to this material world, he comes as the same unborn. Therefore, in the 4th chapter, it is said that the Lord, by his internal potency, is not under the inferior material energy, but is always in the superior energy. In this verse, the words Veti Loka Maheshwaram indicate that one should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of planetary systems of the universe. He was existing before the creation, and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world, but as far as Krishna is concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planets. Shri Krishna is therefore different from everything that is created, and anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service can he be known, and not by any other means, as stated in Bhagavad-gita. One should not try to understand Krishna as a human being. As stated previously, only a foolish person thinks him to be a human being. This is again expressed here in a different way. A man who is not foolish, who is intelligent enough to understand the constitutional position of the Lord, of the Godhead, is always free from all sinful reactions. If Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? This is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. When he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reactions, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less mental concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real nature is real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Therefore, we at all want our activities to be auspicious. Then we should work under the directions of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master. Because the spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord, his direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly persons and scriptures direct in the same way. There is no contradiction in these three sources. All actions done under such direction are free from reactions of pious or impious activities of this material world. The transcendental attitude of the devotee in the performance of activities is actually that of renunciation, and this is called sannyasa. As stated in the first verse of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, one who acts as a matter of duty because he has been ordered to do so by the Supreme Lord, and who does not seek shelter in the fruits of his activities, anashrita karma phalam, is a true renouncer. Anyone acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord is actually a sannyasi and a yogi, and not the man who has simply taken the dress of the sannyasi or a pseudo-yogi. The translation of the verse again. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Hare Krishna. Sumit Prabhu mentioned before that Bhagavad Gita is explaining the war on different levels of existence. We all fight the war. Not just that Arjuna had to fight the war, but also we are in this position. Don't think that you can live peacefully. Peaceful living means death. Yes, because we are conditioned to die. And we can see the proof in this world. Actually, everyone dies. It is explained in 2nd chapter of of second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Ayurharati vampumsam udyan nastam chayanaso tasyartha ekchanonita uttama shloka vardhaya. That by every setting, rising and setting a sun, of the sun, everyone is one day closer to death, except those who spend their time for glorification of the Lord. So this is the fight that we should be very, very strongly fighting. Yes. Fight against our material propensities. And the mind is also one of the eight material energies of the Lord. Yes, eight elements. Bhumirapon lovayuhu kamano budrivacha ahankaretiyame bhinna prakritim ashtada. Lord Kṛṣṇa says in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, there are 8 separate elements of his separate energy, and amongst them is the mind. And in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam it is explained that mind is like a prostitute. And one who trusts his mind is like a husband of such a prostitute. And Prabhupada explains that such a husband will be definitely killed by the lovers of the prostitute. Yes. So, don't trust your mind. And there is also another analogy used, and that mind is like a wild, ferocious beast. And the transcendentalists, those who try to raise their consciousness about this material world, are like the hunter who captures the beast and put it in chains. But if he's not careful, even for a moment, such a beast can easily tear him apart. Yes, and devours him. So don't allow this beast to devour you. Yes. So we are fighting the war. Fighting the war against the mind. But we should know that mind is one of these elements of this world, which is meant, it's created not to make us trouble. It's made specially designed for our survival in this world. Yes. Otherwise, we could assume that God is some kind of sadistic personality who creates something to destroy us again and again and again. But no, mind is designed for survival in this material world. And because it's designed to survive in this world, it's natural that its tendency is material survival, material focus on how to secure material pleasures. Because we all are beings of pleasure. Yes, Ananda Mayobhyasat. We all want to be happy. Yes, I believe no one of you wants to be miserable. And if you would consider in percentage, how much happiness do you want? What would you say? 100%. Everyone's agree? 200. Okay. And if I ask you how, in percentage, how much misery you want in your life? 0. Is there anyone who disagrees? You disagree? How much in percentage misery you want?
I believe in equality.
Inequality, 50-50.
Yeah.
So you would like to be 50% miserable.
Well, the ups and downs, that's how life goes. So
That life goes, yes. But your desire is to be free from misery, isn't it? Yes. But the fact is that there is misery, of course, even if you don't want it.
unavoidable.
Yes. So we acknowledge that there is misery, but we don't want it. Yes. Yes, because we are living entities of freedom, of joy, of pleasure, of happiness. And since the mind is designed for material survival, we try to enjoy, to be free, to to perceive pleasure on the material plane, on the material level. And this is called ignorance. Yes, this is called ignorance. Avidya in Sanskrit. Yes, avidya means that we don't know who we are. Who we are. And we consider ourselves as material living entities. And so then, of course, naturally, we want to be happy on the material plane. But we can see, more people want to be happy on the material plane, more they suffer. Yes, this is interconnected very much. Yes, therefore, Prabhupada mentions here the true spiritual seeker is actually a renouncer, is a sannyasi. Although he may live in this material world and performs many different duties. This is also explained here by Prabhupada and by Kṛṣṇa himself in 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. That it's not the dress that makes one a sannyasi, but our consciousness is. And that is the thing we should strive for. Not to be dry renunciants, just to renounce this word for renunciation's sake. No, this will not work, as Krishna explains in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarcham rasopasya parandrishtva nivartate. That one can renounce things of this world, enjoyments of this world, everything one can renounce. But he'll be defeated by his mind if he hasn't tasted the higher taste, something higher. Yes. So that we can taste something higher, it is required bhakti. Only bhakti can give us something higher. And bhakti means love, unconditional love. Ahaitiki bhakti. Ahaitiki apratihata yatma suprasidati. Only by ahaitiki bhakti one can become suprasidati, perfectly happy. Yes, by no other means. So those who are intelligent, they will wholeheartedly devote their lives to bhakti. Yeah. Even though they live outside, one doesn't need to leave this world, but actually, as Lord Jesus said, that we may live in this world, but not be of this world. If you understand what he meant. Yes. We may live in this world, but not be of this world. So our consciousness should be somewhere else. Yes, our consciousness should be how to satisfy Krishna. This is a complete turn around from material consciousness. Material consciousness means how to put myself in the center, and spiritual consciousness is how to put Krishna in the center. And only when Krishna is put in the center, only then is harmony possible. And without harmony, no one can be happy. Is there happiness if there is no harmony? Anywhere? There is no happiness. There is fight. If there is no harmony, there is fight. Or it's grudge. If there is no fight on the external level, is grudge in the internal level. Yes. So it's misery. If there is no harmony, it's no misery. But only if Krishna is in the center, who is absolute, can be harmony. Otherwise, there will be particular things in the center. Either my personal interest, or interest of my family, or interest of my race, interest of my country, interest of whatever. Some particular separate interest. And this is called in Srimad Bhagavatam as pritak bhava. Pritak means separate, and bhava means existence. So if we have some separate center, this is called pritak bhava. We separate ourselves from the absolute. Yes. And therefore, immediately there is no possibility for harmony. Yes, because other living entities have different centers. Yes. And it is mentioned in Mahabharata that there is not enough goods for even one man on this world, one greedy man. Not enough food, not enough wealth, not enough women. For even one man. What to speak of 4 billion men and 4 billion women. It's not possible for to be satisfied on material plane. Yes, but there is something very interesting. Actually, even though we are materially conditioned, every single person, every single living entity, not even every human being, but even every living entity, is helplessly drawn and in love only with Krishna. How is this possible? Then one would think that there will be harmony if they're all in love, helplessly in love with Krishna. Krishna explains, and in this chapter is especially meant to that we can understand that Krishna, everything emanates from Krishna. Few verses after this one is explained Chaturshloki of Bhagavad-gita. Yes, from verse 8 to 11, I think. Yes, to 11. 4 key verses to understand Bhagavad-gita. And the first verse says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuta bhava samanvita. That everything emanates from Krishna. Yes. Spiritual worlds, material worlds, our inner worlds also. Here Krishna says, who know who knows that I'm Veti Loka Maheshwaram, I'm the great master of all the worlds. Usually we tend to think that these are outside worlds, these stars and planets and so on. But no, in the very next verse he explains, Buddhir Jnanam Asamoha Kshamas Atyantamakshamah Sukandukam Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Bhayam Ivacha. That his buddhi, his intelligence, his mind, his forgiveness, his tolerance, his fearlessness and his fear personified, and so on and so forth. So also our inner worlds, he's the Lord of also our inner worlds. And every action is explained, if it is not offered to the Lord, if it is not meant to be for the Lord's pleasure, is cause of our bondage. Yes. Yadgartat karmanoni atara lokayan karma bandhana tadarata mampikanta muktah sangah samachara. Yes, it is explained in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad-gita that every act, and all of us are doing something, aren't we? Even sitting is doing something. Yes, every act should be performed as an offering for the Lord. If it is not, it is a cause of bondage. It's a cause of bondage. Yes. Therefore we should understand, although we are all enamored, I said, by Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa explains this at the end of this chapter, and he says, he says, Yat yat vibhuti-mat sattvam shrimaturjitam yavava tata tava vigachatvam mamatijom shasambhavam. That whatever is attractive in this world, whatever is magnificent, and for everyone something is attractive, or food, or money, or opposite sex, or power, or fame and glory, or whatever he's attracted to, it's just a spark of the Lord's splendor. Yes. So we can see that everything is part of the Lord. And everyone is attracted to something. No one can be completely aloof. Maybe one is attracted to his body, to his family, to this and that, and innumerable things actually. We are helplessly attracted. But this all attraction is Kṛṣṇa. But one may think, yes, okay, then I'm attracted to Kṛṣṇa, so no problem. I'm pure devotee. Even if I worship my body. No, Kṛṣṇa explains just before in 9th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, he says, Yipyanya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhanvita tipi mameva kanta yajanti aviti purvakam. That although all people who worship something else than me, they worship only me. Even if they worship their body, their work, their money, their family members, but they worship me in the wrong way. And therefore their destination will be those things that they worship. This is simple to understand, isn't it? Because their focus is on a particular thing. Yes, I want to be glorious, and this I means my material body, mind, and so on. I want to be glorious, I want to be famous, I want to be rich, I want to enjoy in the company of the opposite sex, or I want this, I want that. and so on. So my focus, my destination will be the same. Yes. This is freedom that we can have. Yes. Everyone is free. We should know that spirit means freedom. We are completely free to choose our position, either material conditioned position or liberated condition. Yes. So we can become a demigod if we want, or we can become a pig if we want. We have this freedom to choose, or we can become spiritually enlightened person. Whatever we want, we can achieve. Yes. Therefore, it's very important to understand that spirit is free. Therefore, these questions, why God is allowing something, are basically not understanding the freedom of the spirit. Yes. But as long as we are in this material world, we are accountable for our actions. Yes. Therefore, this world, I will ask you something. Who wants to live in the world of justice? Can you raise your hands? In the world of justice. Okay. Is there anyone who wants to live in the world of injustice? No one. Now comes a surprise. We are all living in the world of justice. Yes, this is the world of justice. Karma is the instrument of justice. Yes. Actually, spiritual world is not the world of justice. It's the world of mercy. And mercy doesn't mean justice. Mercy means that you get something that you don't deserve. Yes. This is not justice. Justice means eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and head for head. This is justice. But mercy means that you get something that you don't deserve. And love is beyond justice. Yes. So I invite you to go beyond justice, to go to the abode of love. And this abode is not far from you, it's actually in your heart. Just turn to Kṛṣṇa, who is the source of our love. Yes. He says, Mahatmanas tumam devim prakritim ashita. Bhajanya nanimanaso gyatva bhutadimavya. That those who are great souls, they take shelter of his internal energy, of his divine energy. Yes, Mahatmanas tumam devim prakritim ashita. And Devi Prakriti, divine energy, internal energy, is Srimati Radharani. Yes. So connect with Lord's spiritual energy. Connect with the energy of love. Otherwise, you will stay connected with Prakritim Mohinim. As Kṛṣṇa says one verse before. Mogasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetasa. Rakshasim asurim cheva prakritim mohinim shrita. That those who are not his devotees take shelter of prakritim mohinim, of illusory energy. And all their hopes are in vain. Mogasha moga karmano. And all their work, all their endeavors are in vain. All their knowledge is in vain. Yes. And he says even something more strong. There are Rakshasas and Asuras. So everyone who is not a devotee, Krishna declares, he's a blood-sucking demon. Yes, and this may sounds funny, or but it's actually true. Why it is true? What do you think? Why anyone who is not a Mahatma is a blood-sucking demon? Yes.
Because if we are not a Mahatma, we are not selfless, and then we care for ourselves and we misuse others.
Exactly. Yes. We misuse others. Knowingly or unknowingly, usually knowingly. And we may even pretend that we don't misuse others. But actually, as long as we are not pure devotees, or at least striving for being pure devotee, we exploit others some way or another for our selfish purposes. Yes, it is said that in material world, the relationship of a mother to a child is most pure. But even this relationship has some expectations. Yes. In the material world, there is some expectations. The child should be like this and that. It's not completely pure. So to some degree, every relationship in this material world is mutual exploitation. It's mutual exploitation. Yes. And we agree to mutually exploit each other. and we even sign contracts of mutual exploitation. Yes. Yes. So we should know that this mutual exploitation is Rakshasa and Asura consciousness. Yes. Only consciousness that is devoted to the Lord unconditionally is completely free. Yes. And this is the state of a devotee. So Krishna explains that if one cannot always be completely immersed in the thoughts of Krishna, of him, then engage in abhyasa yoga. Abhyasa means practice. Practice. Like a military drill. Yes. Why I'm mentioning military drill? Because you have to be really completely you should completely turn your whole existence in the opposite direction that you're facing now. Or maybe you don't face now because you try to be spiritually awake people, but ordinary materialistic people are turned completely against our direction. Yes, they're called Bahirmukha. Bahir means what? Outer. Yes, and Mukha is face. Yes, so they're faced in this outer world, away from Krishna. And devotees are antarmukha. Their focus is inside, in the world, in the spiritual existence. Yes. So completely the opposite way from the materialists. So that and everyone who is born in material world means he's a materialist. Otherwise, he has no business here. Yes. So that means that we should be trained. Our consciousness should be trained. Yes. For example, if one wants to learn how to play a musical instrument, is there any one of you who knows how to play any of the instruments? You? Okay, you're good in some instrument?
I'm practicing harmonium.
You're practicing harmonium. It's good that you said you're practicing harmonium because then you know that if you want to know how to play, you have to practice. You have to practice and practice and practice. It's not overnight that one can learn. No way. Yes, one has to practice. And then, when he's very good, his hands go without his conscious endeavor, isn't it? And so it is the same in Krishna consciousness. Then, when we practice so much, then our mind, our consciousness goes to Krishna on its own, without our special endeavor. Yes. And this is explained in the stage of asakti, deep attachment that happens. Yes. Even if one has to do some material duty, he suddenly realizes that he's not focused on this duty, that his mind and consciousness are completely immersed in Krishna. But before this, we try to think of Krishna and we suddenly realize that our mind and consciousness are completely immersed in material things. Yes. So, we mentioned before higher taste. And there is something really important for every one of us to understand. Who wants to enjoy in higher taste? Yes. Only few? Yes. Good. You're not sure because previously I tricked you some way. Yes, everyone wants to enjoy some great taste, isn't it? Yes, something is very important. Without absorption, there is not any possibility to taste anything. I believe you have all experienced that you were in a hurry and you tried to eat some meal, some food, and you really ate very quickly, and then you ate it and realized that you haven't tasted anything. Do any of you have such an experience? Yes. Is there any of you who don't have such an experience? Because I can see you're shy, you don't respond very enthusiastically. So no one has not experienced. So good, you all have experienced this. That you were in a hurry and you realized after that you didn't taste anything what you tried to eat, to enjoy. And so it is also in spiritual realization. If you are not focused, if you are not immersed in something, we cannot taste anything. So superficial performing of some rituals will not do anything. My spiritual master once said that ritual of worship is like a love letter. to our beloved. But if there is no consciousness in the ritual, consciousness of really offering our heart to the Lord, it's like an empty envelope with no letter inside. We are sending empty envelopes. Yeah. So, if we chant our rounds empty-mindedly, with not focus on the holy name, or we do other things, that means that we focus on other things, then we are sending empty envelopes to Krishna. An empty envelope, of course, it's an offense, isn't it? You're receiving empty envelopes one after another from your beloved. Another empty envelope.
but it is at least something.
Yes, but this something is offense. Yeah.
Could be offensive. I don't know.
Hare Krishna. Yes, it's definitely good that you send, but you send something inside. This is the point. Because if we'll say, yes, it's better to send empty envelope, that we won't send any envelope at all, then we justify our inattentiveness. Yes, we try to excuse our inattentiveness, and then we won't be striving for attentiveness. Understand? This is very important to understand, because yes, very quickly we can cheat ourselves. This is the age of cheating, because people are spiritually lazy. Mandak samanda matayo manda bhagya upadrata. People are lazy, spiritually lazy, and therefore they cheat themselves. They love to cheat themselves. And they think that this cheating will work. Yes. And they're not careful during their chanting, for example. And then they say, yes, it's not the best, but Krishna is merciful. Yes, Krishna is merciful. Krishna will allow you to continue in your consciousness for the rest of the eternity. And if you're not focused on Krishna, it's definitely you're focused on something else. We are always focused on something. We cannot be not focused on anything. This is not possible. So we are focused on something, and Krishna will allow, because we just said that spirit is free. If you want to focus on something else than Krishna, Krishna will let you focus. No problem. He has all the eternity on his disposal. And you also. So it's very important that we are determined. Yes, we may be not able to completely focus because of our conditioning, and Krishna understands this. But if we want to try, and again try, and we are not at ease that we are not able to, then Krishna will help us. But if we are cheating ourselves, trying to cheat Krishna, Krishna will allow us to continue our material conditioning for the rest of the eternity. Yes, and it is explained by Jiva Goswami. One can chant the holy name for millions of lifetimes. with such an attitude. Yes. So I invite you not to cheat yourselves. Yes. But try with all your heart, even if you are not able. Hare Krishna. Do you have any question or comment or doubt? Yes, please.
You told we should focus like with a practice that we naturally think about Krishna. Can we do something else also that our focus goes automatically towards Krishna?
I'm afraid I didn't understand.
You told if we are like with the instrument, if we are playing and practicing, then we can do automatically play it. And if we practice Krishna consciousness, then we come automatically to think about Krishna.
Yes, I mentioned in this way, if you practice and you become really good at some instrument, then your hands, even without your thinking, are playing as they should, because they're so trained. But in Krishna consciousness, it's not about our body that our hands would go here and there. And our lips will move in certain way, proper way. But it's about consciousness. Therefore, Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness movement, not for hand dexterity movement.
My question is, when we practice Krishna consciousness, then
Yes, we come to the stage of asakti, deep attachment to Krishna. Then our consciousness and mind will go automatically to Krishna. Yes.
But since you told we achieve through the practice of Krishna consciousness.
Yes. That practice is called sadhana bhakti. And sadhana bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sivanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atmanavidam. These are 9 processes of devotional service. And of course, when by hearing with Shravanam, we become attached to certain relationship with Krishna. Then we can practice Ragunaga sadhana bhakti, which is outwardly the same, Shravana and Kirtana, but inside developing deep attachment to Krishna and immerse our mind in Krishna. So, is this what you are asking?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So by practicing devotional service, we become more and more attached to Krishna. Yes. By purifying our heart, Krishna will purify our heart when he'll see our determination, and he's satisfied with our chanting and hearing and service attitude. And Shrimvatah Svakatah Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto Hyabadarani Vidunoti Suhritsatam. This is explained in 2nd chapter of the 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Krishna who is seated in our heart will personally purify our heart when he's satisfied with our chanting and hearing about him. Yes. Therefore, again and again, it is stressed, this attachment to hearing. Attachment to hearing. Without attachment to hearing and to service, nothing can be achieved. Hare Krishna. Yes.
How can we chant more with love and not with an empty envelopment? How can we focus more?
Yes, this is a very important question. if we don't, we are not able to focus, we should pray to Krishna to help us, because we are helpless. And Krishna explains this in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Devi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadante mayam etantarantite. This maya, or illusory energy, is impossible to overcome. It's duratyaya. But mam eva ye prapadante. If one surrenders only to me, one can overcome it. So we are not able to go beyond Maya. We are not able to focus on Krishna on our own. We need mercy, and we should pray for mercy. We should pray to Krishna. Please, Krishna, I'm helpless. This is very important realization, that you're helpless. And therefore, this chanting will give you this realization, that you're helpless. I believe everyone who is seriously engaged in chanting will have this realization, that he is helpless. This is not in his power. Yes, I found the means how to capture Krishna in my mind. No, Krishna will prove you that it is not in your power. And if you're not intelligent, he will prove you more. and then if you are intelligent, you will surrender to Krishna. Krishna, help me. I'm helpless. Please help me. Yes. If we chant with this attitude, Krishna will definitely help us to realize deeply and deeply that we are completely dependent on Krishna. And we will also try to seek the association of the devotees who are attached to Krishna. This is very important also, because the association that we keep determines our destiny. Because every association influences our consciousness. Yes. Hare Krishna. Is this okay? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Anyone? Yes, please.
Prabhu, I want to ask that, for example, you spoke about those devotees or who are trying to practice. But the thing is, there are a lot of people, millions and billions and trillions of people, like even after knowing this knowledge that this is life, like this human birth we got for something to get the higher test, what you also mentioned in the lecture, but they are unable to take it, or they are unable to accept it. Like they are not even eager enough to raise their hand. So like how can we take this message up to their ears and their heart? So how can we do that, Prabhu?
So what is in our ability to inspire them?
Yes, Prabhu.
We should be inspired. We should be enthusiastic. They should feel that we are blissful, if possible. I think Prabhupada was one asked, "What if I'm not enthusiastic?" And then Prabhupada said that then you act enthusiastically. So yes, enthusiasm breeds enthusiasm. And laziness is even more powerful influencer. So we should definitely shouldn't be lazy, spiritually lazy. Then our laziness will influence more people than if we are enthusiastic. Yes, so we should be enthusiastic. especially if we want to help anyone, to help ourselves and to others also. Yes. Therefore, Rupa Goswami mentions Utsaha, the first requirement for bhakti. Utsaha means enthusiasm. Yes. And patience. And great conviction. Yes. Utsaha nishchaya darya tat karma pavartanat. Sangat yagat satovriti shadbir bhakti prasidati. Yes. And we mentioned all this. That tat karma pravartanat means that we practice, that we are engaged in service. And sangat yagat means that we give up association of materialistic people. Yes, because they will definitely pollute our consciousness and give us the taste for material enjoyment. And this is not very hard to give us because we are born and raised in this world with the idea that we have to taste this material world. So it's very easy to be influenced by this idea. Hare Krishna. So be enthusiastic and perform your devotional service with great attention and determination and patience. Hare Krishna. Any other thing? Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi Hari.